A couple of things that I wanted to share with you today. One was, and you're going to think that I'm definitely preaching to the choir, somewhat. Actually, no, I might be preaching at you. I may very well be preaching at you, but it might sound like it's something that I've said before because it kind of is. It's just a different way of seeing it. So, someone on Wednesday asked if I had seen a particular response to Pope Francis's death by Marjorie Taylor Greene, a congressperson, a congressional representative from Georgia. Now, she's very well known. She gets a lot of press. She's getting press right now for what could have been, I don't know if there is an investigation into it, but she made some trades, some Wall Street stock market trades before Trump made certain announcement last week that it looks kind of sketchy. Again, whether she'll be, investigated for it or not, who knows? But that's been in the press. She got press last week for her town hall where some folks got tased, and as they were being thrown out because they were considered disruptive and they were asking questions that she didn't want answers to. She got press because she only took pre-approved questions because she didn't want to have to struggle reading somebody's handwriting. I think there's other ways of going about that, but anyway. She was the Jewish space laser woman. Forest fires are caused by Jewish space lasers. She's one of the people who accuse the Biden administration of having equipment and machinery that could control weather patterns. Apparently, the Trump administration doesn't have them, but there it is. So she gets all kinds of press. She says all kinds of harsh, nasty things. When she asks questions, of experts, she's incredibly demeaning and minimizing. She is, anyway, this is what she said about the Pope's death. Now, let me rephrase that. This is what she said when news of the Pope's death broke. This is what she tweeted. Today there were major shifts in global leaderships. Evil is being defeated by the hand of God. She doesn't actually say that God handled Pope Francis. She doesn't actually say that she's talking about Pope Francis's death. But given context and everything else, I think it's if an assumption's going to make an ass out of you and me, I think you could make an assumption on this one. But anyway, the reason I'm even bringing it up, many people have a problem with Pope Francis. Many people have a problem with a pope, period. Many people have a problem with Roman Catholicism. There's lots of conspiracy theories about Roman Catholicism. There's lots of things that people, stories. I mean, you think about some of the books that have been written about the intrigue within the Vatican, and they're taken as gospel. Those stories, those pieces of fiction, are taken as fact. It was Dan Brown wrote the Da Vinci Code, and of course, it brought Roman Catholicism in, and a wildly entertaining book. If you haven't read the Da Vinci Code, you got to read the Da Vinci Code. It's an amazing book, but none of it is based on fact. All that to say, there are always people out there, and I think Marjorie Taylor Greene, if I remember correctly, she was raised in a Roman Catholic church, in the Roman Catholic Church, but then left after being married and having some kids, and I think her problem with Roman Catholicism had been their lack of accountability when it came to some of the stories of abuse that was coming out of the church, still coming out of the church. And anyhow, all that to say, she's not the only one. She's not the only one that feels this way. Many people take issue with the Vatican. Many people take issue with the Vatican, but there is a tasteful way of doing it. There is a civil way of doing it. There is a polite way of doing it. There's a way that world leaders, and her as the congressional representative from Georgia, she is on the world stage. She has placed herself on the world stage with all of the attention she seeks out and receives. And so here's where it comes back to, Ed said this before, let's quit giving her the attention she craves. Anybody who's going to go on about Jewish space lasers deserves no more of our attention. Anybody who's going to go on about how the Biden government had controlled the weather to the extent that they could send storms in particular directions and do this and do that and leave thousands of people homeless or thousands of people without power or whatever, that cause billions of dollars worth of damage, they don't deserve our attention. So don't give her your attention, and don't be like her, right? Look at her and say, hey, I see what she's doing. And then ignore her and refuse to be like her. Like if you can't stop looking at her, right? Because it's this, I don't know, it's like a train wreck of kittens. Fine. But hold it up in a very particular way. Don't hold it up as something to lament. Don't hold her example up as something to lament. Don't hold her example up as something to decry. Don't hold her example up as something to be angry about or something to complain about. Don't do that. Hold her example up and say, I can't be this way. I want to be the exact opposite. Okay, where she sends out this kind of nastiness, I want to send out this kind of love. Where she makes these crazy conspiratorial tweets, I'm going to offer hope. Be different. If you can't stop looking at that train wreck, then look at it so that you can determine how you are going to be a different kind of person. If we spend our energy complaining, and if we spend our energy pointing our fingers, and if we spend our energy pointing out the obvious, that's a horrible thing to say. We're going to be doing it forever. And the work that really needs to get done isn't going to get done. And the change that really needs to happen inside of us and around us isn't going to get done. Yeah, it's pretty obvious that she has the ability to gain the world's attention by saying really horrible things. But if she said the next time she says something really horrible, let that be a catalyst for growth. Let that be a catalyst for the kind of change that she'd be really upset about. We don't want to just go from conspiracy to conspiracy to conspiracy to conspiracy. We don't want to go from scandal to scandal to scandal to scandal. We want the world to become a better place. That's not going to happen if all we do is say, don't you see how awful she is? No, it only happens when we live the kind of lives that make others say, wow, do you all see how loving they are? Amen.